Hi everyone, welcome back to Yoga in Real Life. Today is going to be the first in a vlog series talking about natural living. One of my friends actually suggested this. She's known me for probably almost 15 years by now. And I've always been kind of known as like the cruelty friend among most of my friend groups. And so she suggested that along this yogic lifestyle, I kind of talked about the choices that I've made, things that I do in my daily life to kind of live a more natural, kind of like cruelty-free lifestyle. So today we're going to start with deodorants. I have a plethora of natural deodorants that I've tried and that I still have, so we're going to kind of talk about that. And then some of the next iterations are going to be cruelty-free living, kind of the choices that I've the choices I have made to support only companies that don't do animal testing, choices I've made for my son, kind of in a more natural living way, and choices that I kind of make in my diet, but also in where I shop and stuff like that. But for today, let's talk about deodorant. I switched to natural deodorant probably 6 years ago. Before that, I always used men's deodorant. My mom really drilled it into me about how antiperspirants can be really bad for women. There are links to breast cancer, and so I never used antiperspirants, and I just found that men's deodorant was easier to fit the bullet for that. So about 6 years ago, I had a friend who was like, hey, I just tried this new company called Schmidt's. I think that they actually help keep me from being stinky. It's all natural, no aluminum, stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give it a try. So Schmidt's was the first brand that I had tried naturally. Now, I had tried like the crystals when I was younger, you know, the rubbing crystals, and I had tried like Tom's of Maine and stuff like that. None of that had ever worked. So I kind of just never looked back at that. So this was the first kind of like mainstream natural deodorant that I had tried. Schmidt's, they have tons of delicious flavors. It is kind of a like pasty deodorant. It's got shea butter and coconut oil, so it is a little bit thicker than others. So I started with Schmidt's and I loved them. Of course, after a super long day, you're going to stink regardless. But I found that they did a really good job of kind of not bothering my skin, but also helping me keep from being stinky. My main issue with them is that because it's so thick, it started to kind of ruin some of my clothes. So because it was so thick, kind of like it's not petroleum based, but kind of that thick, creamy feeling. All my shirts were kind of getting stained. It was really hard to get that out. So that started to kind of push me away from Schmidt's. I was a little frustrated, but then also it started to bother me a little bit more. I started getting kind of armpit rashes. I was like, okay, it's time to move on. They say that you should switch deodorants, not frequently, but every year or so, to keep your body from getting used to it. So I was like, okay, let's move on to the next one. So next, I tried Native. This was recommended to me. This one's a coconut vanilla. It's still a creamy one, a little bit less yellow. This one has the coconut oil and shea butter as well, so similar ingredients. But I found the same issue. I found that it was still kind of ruining my clothes, which is frustrating. I felt like it wasn't as good as Schmidt's. And again, eventually I would get kind of a rash on it. So then I started to kind of jump on the make your own deodorant. So I got arrowroot powder, coconut oil, and some essential oils, and I kind of made my own. Did not work. I was very stinky. So then I was getting kind of desperate. At this point I was living overseas, and the rash was a continuous problem, but then also obviously I was stinky. So I tried, this is my travel bottle, apple cider vinegar and water. So I had read about how this kind of neutralizes the odor and the bacteria in your armpit. You can hear my kid having a party out there. So I was like, let's give it a shot. So I used apple cider vinegar for over a year, and I felt like it actually did a great job. I would put some on a cotton ball, rub it on my armpits twice a day, and I felt like it did a pretty great job. My biggest complaint is that because it's liquid, it's kind of a pain in the booty to travel with. So at this point, I was still traveling really consistently pre-pandemic. And so having to figure out a bottle that wasn't going to leak and make sure it fit in my liquids bag was kind of annoying. And again, it wasn't perfect. You know, I would still start to get stinky at the end of the day. So then I went back to some of the old school ones. So I tried Jason again. This one is still white, but way less creamy. Like when I put it on, you can't even see it. It's definitely more kind of lotion based. So this is much better for my clothes. I found that it didn't really make an issue with my clothes, but I also stunk. Like it was bad. So then I was back to square one. At this point I had tried cream paste. I had tried the one where you actually like pull it out of the jar. I made my own. I tried all of these natural brands. I tried apple cider vinegar. Still nothing was working. This year, I don't know if it's because I'm working out more, if it's because I live in Florida now and it's really hot, but I just feel like I was always stinky and I was still having rash problems. So I had seen a dermatologist about this and they were like, oh, it's eczema, which I think is just something they say whenever they don't actually know. And they're like, just keep trying. I was like, well, I've tried everything in the stores. Like I have tried every brand. I tried, oh, I forgot to bring it out here, but I have Everyman Jack. Went back to men's deodorant. That's an all natural men's deodorant. That one, the consistency is perfect. It's like a true gel, see-through, clear, didn't get on my clothes, but I smelled awful. I mean, that was probably the worst stink that I've had, which is funny because it's made for men. And let's be real, if you can't stand up to me, you definitely can't stand up to my husband. So I tried Everyman Jack. I tried Schmidt's, Native, Jason. I tried the crystals. I tried Tom's of Maine, making my own, apple cider vinegar. And then this summer I was like, okay, we have to try something else. This isn't working. So I went online and I did some more research and I found that on Amazon you can find some deodorants from other countries and get it shipped. So that's where I found the Santa. This is actually a magnesium-based deodorant. This comes from Australia. All of these brands are cruelty-free, by the way. That's one of my things, is it has to be cruelty-free. It has a gel roller and it's liquid-based, like soft. I don't know if you can see it. Like water almost. It's not like lotion liquid, it's water. So it's like, okay, we'll give this a try. This one has aloe vera, magnesium, let's see, chamomile, water. So this one is, you know, obviously made for sensitive skin. They have a non-scented which doesn't have aloe. I know a lot of people have issues with aloe, like my mom. So they have that kind, but this one is the one with aloe. And I was like, you know what, whatever, let's give it a shot. This one was the most expensive natural deodorant I've ever purchased. It was $14, but I was so desperate. And you know what? It does a pretty dang good job. So it doesn't ruin my clothes, which is one of my big issues. For the most part, I don't stink at the end of the day. You know, if I'm going to be gone outside for like 12 hours, I feel like I'm going to stink regardless. And so on those days, I'm still a little stinky. But in general, it's not an issue. And I have yet to have a rash. So I've been using this now for 3 or 4 months. And it seems to have made a big difference. So I highly recommend. It's another cruelty-free. You can buy this on Amazon. Like I said, it's 14 bucks, but from what I can tell, I still have half the bottle to go. So 3 or 4 months for half the bottle is not bad. I mean, I was going through much more than that in the other deodorant. So definitely worth giving it a shot. Some other ones you can try if you're also desperate is I did try the Gold Bond spray. Gold Bond is actually cruelty-free. And the spray is kind of like got a tingly feeling. It's got a powdery feel. Again, better for your clothes. Did not help with my stink, and I did eventually get a rash. So this was just my experience. I truly believe that deodorant depends on the person. Everybody's stink is different, everybody's skin is different, so you kind of have to try and see where you react. But these are kind of the base of all of cruelty-free and natural deodorants, the aluminum-free, better for you, better for your body. So thank you so much for watching this video. I will be posting more about natural living in the coming weeks. Let me know your thoughts. Have you tried any of these deodorants? Did you like any of them? Did you end up going back to old deodorants? I would love to hear your thoughts and chat more about this. Thanks so much, guys. See you on your mat soon.